You're tuned into Taiwan Grooves. Let's explore the local music scene. Hello and good day. Welcome to Taiwan Grooves. In today's episode, I'll be interviewing a musician, a composer, a multi-instrumentalist, and a friend of mine, Drew. But the main focus of this episode will be learning to play an instrument and Drew's story of teaching the guitar. Drew has been oscillating between a guitar teacher and a mentor for the past couple of years, and this is what we'll be discussing today. We'll start with how he got to play instruments, the organic transition from student to teacher, and his latest guitar teaching project with the goal of passing on knowledge and getting everyone to play one block at a time. So without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Drew.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so to briefly introduce, we have a guitar player, a guitar teacher, a bass player, somewhat drum player, some piano player, composer.
Some of those to be tested.
Yeah, I've seen it. I can prove it. It's definitely true. But today we're going to talk about some guitar playing techniques and mostly teaching. So I would start with, how did you get to playing music? And what was your first instrument of choice and why?
Okay, so, well, it wasn't so much of a choice. I was forced upon it was forced upon me. My mom taught me piano when I was a kid, so I grew up playing piano and I was taught the classical ways. And then in middle school, she finally decided to ask whether or not I would like to continue, so I finally have some autonomy. And obviously, as a kid, I promptly said no, heck no. Then she put me on a concert band in middle school. My middle school had a concert band, and I was too little. So the band director is like, he's too little, so he will play trumpet. So I got put on trumpet, and I played that for 6-7 years. Yeah, and then at the end of high school, I got interested in playing drums. So I first took drum lessons, and I got a drum set. And at that time, I had moved to the States already, so I have a drum set. And I was like intermittently playing here and there, but at that point, trumpet's still the most the instrument that I played the most. Because I'm in a band setting. And even in the States, I was still in a concert band and whatnot. So I'm always playing a little bit. Even though at that time I played the most, I suck at it the most. Trumpet is a very difficult instrument that you can't just rely on. Hey, I have rehearsal today. You need to spend your own time and practice daily to get good at that instrument. Right. And then at the end of high school, we have electives. We have some free schedule. So one of my classmates was like, you want to take on a guitar lesson? I was like, sure, why not? Yeah. So
many instruments already might as well.
Exactly. I mean, I was always interested in anything music related as a kid. So when he asked, and I was just like, oh, sure. Obviously, my friend's goal was I want to impress girls and whatnot. I was just like, oh, sure, I'll tag along, right? I took the lesson, learned the basic, and I wasn't really all that into it at the time. I was just still, it's just the same thing as all the instruments I play. I'll just grab it here and there.
Yeah.
But then in college, I live in a dorm, and I had, up until that point, I had always been surrounded by music. And then once I moved to a college dorm, I couldn't bring my drum set, right? Obviously, because I have 3 roommates in
on the electric
room.
And also that's a lot of hassle.
Yeah, and super loud. And so I had no instrument with me whatsoever. And then I just you know what, I will get myself a cheap guitar. So I got an Epiphone, $150 one, and just started playing some tune. And I don't even know why. I just said, I guess I just have a lot of free time. So after I'm not playing video games, I just grab the guitar. And I just started getting sucked into it. And then some of my floor mates started to notice. And then they're like, oh, do you play this? Do you play that? So I started learning a lot of different songs. And then eventually someone's like, oh, do you know Metallica? I was like, Metallica, no. And then after I listened to it, I got mind blown. And I just ordered an electric guitar, and the rest is history. It's I found a drug. I just can't I can't stop. Every day I just go grab the guitar no matter what. It become habitual. I just grab it. I don't even think about it. I just grab it. Yeah. No.
I mean, it's right there, staring at you, so might as well. I keep hearing the same story, people were forced into some piano, violin or something. But in the beginning, you might see it as a bad thing, and you're like, oh, practice, music, boring. But then when you grow up, you're like, I'm so glad I did this. Like you have some theory, everything connects, puzzle, and you're able to do so much. Like I wasn't forced into any music, and I started playing maybe I was like 20 plus. So I was like, oh, this is so good. Like I have the feeling you have exactly, but way later with the jet lag, I would say.
No, it's never too late. Never too late. If you can get into it and enjoy it, that's what's important. And on that front about like being grateful in the future, I obviously very much regret that I quit piano. So don't quit if anyone's listening.
The bottom line of this. So just very curiously, out of all the instruments you have picked up, tried, trumpet you would say is the most challenging one?
Absolutely. For me at least, there's just something that like there is like they have some way to grade you whether or not you can play first trumpet, second and third. I always play third. When I started, I was put on third. And then ever since then, I'm always playing third or second. And at one point in high school, finally, the director is like, okay, you're senior now. You want to try first? And then you have to hit this range of C. I just couldn't hit it. Like, I couldn't consistently hit it, just no matter what I do. But just lack of practice, I think.
Breathing, pressing stuff at the same time. It's just it's all science to me. So you got good at guitar. You had all the rock metal bands down, you were playing with that was your favorite genre of choice. You started developing yourself as a musician, you had a couple of bands, performances, all that. When was the point that you kind of like taught or got from being a student to a teacher? Like did someone ask you for a lesson? Did you just come up with yourself like, hey, I actually struggle with this and I think this would help people? Was there any like a breaking point that you kind of remember?
I wouldn't say so much of a breaking point, a turning point per se, but it did happen exactly what, like you said. Like someone had asked me, actually primarily my roommate. I live in the quad, like I said, and it's 4 guys in one room. So whenever I play, my roommates are listening. Like there's no point, like there's very little time that I'm in the room by myself. So one of my roommate eventually actually got a guitar, and I started just showing him what I learned and started with basic chords, and he actually picked up to a point where he could start like looking for songs that he enjoys himself and then just look at chords and start playing on his own. And even started just like coming up with some chord progression and whatnot, and I just show him like things that I watched videos and I was like, oh, this is cool, and then I learned it myself, and I was just basically pass on knowledge. So I never look at teaching as like, oh, I'm teacher, I have this like pedigree and all that. Just I just happened upon this knowledge before you did, and I just pass along this knowledge. Like that's how knowledge gets passed along. It's just like one mouth to another, and I never look at it as a teacher thing. So like at first it's just mostly just teaching. So I started teaching him, and then other floor mates saw that, whoa, this guy's playing guitar now too. So like
in 2 months he can shred.
He didn't
sign me up
per se, but he started playing his own thing, and he had a pretty good grasp of it too. So, and up until then he also had not like really touched much music related things. So like I was like, wow, I'm actually quite impressed with him too. And I was like, wow, I was able to actually taught someone to a point that he could pick up guitar and start playing on his own and enjoy it, and then make himself a guitarist, an independent guitarist of his own, So like some other floor mates start asking me too. And then I guess a turning point was at one point someone was like, do you have like a structure? That's when I was like, what does that mean?
Look up the word
structure. What? I don't have that. It's just like whatever you're learning, and you're like, how do you play this? And now I will teach you, right?
Or you see whatever he's struggling with, and you're just like, hey, try this.
How do I do? Yeah, exactly. Like he's trying to learn this song. It's like, how do I do this part? It's like, I'll try it, and I'll show you how I do it. But then when someone's like, oh, I need a weekly lesson, and I was like, I don't have that. That's at the point that I realized, oh, that's a difference between like a professional coco. Like that's your job. You have to come up with curriculums, lessons, and whatnot, and people come to a teacher expecting that. And I was more of just I guess you can, and in that way you can look at it as a mentor, more of a mentor than a teacher at that point. So I guess even until now, then I kind of still teetering between the two roles. Like I definitely prefer more of a mentor kind of role than a teacher. I'm not the one to like it's like whoosh, 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 like practice. Like you don't
until fingers bleed.
Exactly. That's not. If you don't want to play, that's on you. Like you're not gonna improve. That's all. I'm not gonna force you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. you know from experience, like you got to put in those hours.
Yes.
And that's when the instruments kind of like show results. It's not like you're just gonna have a nice nap, wake up, and like, oh, I can play the scale, no problem.
Yes.
That's not how it works.
Actually, on that front, I used to think like there, the talk of like talent versus discipline, I guess.
Yes.
I used to believe like there is like such thing as talent, but I mean, you have to divide that into different subjects. But in terms of the mechanical part of like handling an instrument, I honestly, at my stage now, as I mature more, I actually feel like it's mostly just the mechanical part. It's not, I don't feel like there's core talent. Yes, some people pick it up faster, but at the end, just how much time you spend on it. If we're all given infinite amount of time, I believe everyone could reach a certain mastery of the instrument. Of course, everyone's mastery will be different, but definitely to a proficiency level that, like, if you spend time on it, like, and then you're given infinite amount of time, like, everyone could reach a mastery, like, to a certain degree. You just need to spend time, just repeatedly do it. It will come to you if you just keep doing it. It's a mechanical thing,
Yeah.
So,
no,
yeah.
very well put. As you said, the roommate, when he kind of like picked it up fast, I was thinking, all right, either he's kind of like not necessarily super talented, but maybe he has an inclination to learn this faster, or you did a very excellent job of like getting him into it. Because that's also one part, right? Like you spark an interest in someone, and it's not like they have to drill a lot, but it's more, hey, I'm curious towards this, and I could just do this, and this will happen.
Yeah.
And then it's just a natural ball rolling. And
Exactly.
It just becomes,
Precisely.
Very cool. Now, you kind of started thinking, okay, should I have a structure? And then was there maybe a point or kind of like a moment where you said, I could kind of make a little bit of business or money with it? And if you started maybe one-on-one or just continue mentoring, was there another moment where you thought, okay, you know what? I should switch to online instead of one-on-one?
Switching to online was a very simple, situation of COVID forced all of us to adopt online format, right? So that was the first thing. And then after moving back to Taiwan, I feel like the effort put into scheduling one-on-one, preparing lesson for one person.
Very customized.
And then, customized lesson plan and charge only 1 hour rate. I just feel like it didn't add up for the amount of effort versus, the money that you can earn. And also, again, it's like, okay, I come up with all these lesson plan, and if my student is not using it, I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like, you pay me, but $20, 25 USD an hour to come up with that, and you're not using it. It's not even worth that money,
Yeah.
So I feel like I want to come up with something that people who are interested, who are driven, will just go to. And, at the end, my goal is to get people to play. So, I'd like to come up with play materials and just let people to play. And through the process of playing, you're going to improve. It's that simple. There's no other way. Play, get better. That's it.
Man, it sounds like a Shaolin master of guitar. Like, you want to learn, you have to overcome it yourself. It's not like I'm going to force you to do stuff. Like, you have to want it more than I want to teach you.
Exactly. Precisely.
And it makes sense at some point. You're just like, okay, you know what? I repeat maybe the same thing a couple of times. I should probably just record it, and whoever wants to take it from there will take it. And I see a lot of things. Like one guy I discovered for fun guitar called Tasty Guitar, and he has both, right? So he does a lot of material. He kind of like introduces a topic. He scratches some of the surfaces and about this, how to play these licks, this method, all that. He gives a couple of things. And then if you're interested, struggling, you want to get deeper, anything, he has also like private Skype lessons. So it's kind of like really like you filter through a lot of people who just go to the lesson. Maybe out of 100 that click, 50 stay. And maybe 5 kind of like, okay, I really want to play like you, so I book a lesson.
So exactly. That way,
smart choice today.
Exactly. The students that you will get will also be a lot more, I guess, more committed. I don't want to say quality. I want to say committed.
Correct. All right. So you decided there's COVID. Let's take it online. How do you even come up with the so-called structure? What do you get the idea on like, okay, I'm gonna make videos. Have you done any recording, editing? Any kind of videos? Like, did you first do your research? Was there any initial obstacles or fears of like, okay, there's Marty, there's Justin Guitar, there's this guy, like, what do I have to offer? Like, was there any kind of like, okay, I need to break through into this somehow?
Definitely quite challenging to get started because, like you said, there are a lot of very established YouTube guitar educators already. But as I started posting, I mean, I'm still in the growing phase, the very early growing phase. But yeah, the one thing that I noticed as I started pushing out videos, I noticed is that, first of all, like educational material is evergreen. So there's always new people who are interested, always searching, right? So I realized that, hey, like, you shouldn't look at that as like, oh, there are these people already, so let me not do it. You should still do it because certain things are just evergreen and people are always going to be looking at it or looking for it and searching for it. And everyone has their own take, right? So just because, oh, how to do hammer on, you might have a unique point that not a lot of people address. Like, obviously not unique in like as in the only one, but maybe it's not covered on YouTube yet. You know? So like I just started, I guess from that front, I started developing. And on the question of have I done editing, filming, I have another channel. So I did some filming and editing before, all just like kind of just self like experiment things and whatnot, learning on YouTube and stuff. But as far as filming is concerned, the hardest thing was getting used to just talking to the camera. I just when the camera's rolling, I can't talk.
Oh,
like,
same.
Like
I don't
if
know
you're
how
not
you do
here
it.
talking right now, okay, cut on a cut.
And still yet you manage to produce very high quality videos with you looking so naturally. So I don't know how you do it, if you take some medicine before you have a shot of something, but it still is out there. So props and kudos for that. Also, as you said, no, that's very true, because there's gotta be, I don't know, 247 lessons on pinch harmonics.
Yeah.
But perhaps you watch 3 and the 4th one will be like, I don't know, I just kind of get it because of the way he said this, or because of the angle camera, or very simple trick of tilt your hand or something. It's just this, as you said, very little detail that will do it for you. It speaks to you directly. Like all the people will cover the same. It's like, you know, you have the old DVDs, books and everything. Sure, it can be like that, but perhaps this guy was struggling with all the other videos, but this one is just
that one
Eureka or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So very true. Okay, so you get down, you start to plan something. Now, what did you do differently when seeing a person teaching pentatonics? You have what are so-called, and we're going to post all the information online so you can see, because the lessons are really good. You just have to keep pushing videos. Everything is going the right track. But now, how did you come up with the idea of having so-called blocks? And what are blocks, if I may ask you?
Yes. So blocks are very short guitar songs that's just tailored written for you to drill like a technique, or like sometimes even just one single motion. Right?
So like, let's say in a solo part, there's bend, pick, bend, pick, bend, pick, bend, pick. So you take those 10 seconds and make it into a block.
Yes, I turn like, just like you said, oh, okay, this solo requires you to bend, pick, like this motion. It's not, there's no technique called like bend, pick. That's not technique. But that motion specifically, I'll just take that motion and write a new lick. So you can do exactly that lick, you know, so you're playing a different song, but you're still doing this exact same motion. So
always through a song.
Yes,
usable
through my very short song. And I divide that little song into 3 different difficulties. So you can start from the most simple one where it will expose you to the motion. And then the second one that will give you a bit more challenge and a bit more speed and also a bit more musical. And then the final, the highest difficulty level. So the easiest one is breezy, and the middle one is brisk, and the hardest one is called blades. If you can play blade, I always design so the blades is harder than the song where this little motion, this action, or this technique came from. Either faster, or I'm going to do it more times, or just do it in a more complicated pattern, just to challenge you. So where I got this idea from is from a Japanese guitar educator called Shinichi Kobayashi, yes. And he had a book. In Chinese, it's translated to Hell Guitar Training. And it's very daunting. Like, and the whole book isn't like something that's different about this series. Like, it doesn't have like, oh, lesson 1, lesson 2. Like every core lesson is a short song, the same way that I structure my program. And every short song is literally just 4 bars. So like we're talking 10 seconds, sometimes less than 10 seconds, because it's fast and it's very short. And I started playing that book, and that book, it's actually very successful in like 2010, 2015 period. And it's still it's kind of like the Shred Bible in the Asia region. Like, it's a shame that it only got translated into Chinese. It's very popular in Japan and Taiwan and in some Southeast Asia countries and whatnot.
Right.
And I started using that book and play a lot of the songs from that book. And I didn't play all 50 something. They have like 50. One book has like 50 something. I play like probably 30-ish. And something I realized when I started playing that is like, first of all, a lot of them are super difficult. So it took me a long time, like 4-bar little
just
song.
To spend on one.
Yeah, I would spend probably like, I would drill on it for like weeks and still not even nowhere remotely close to playing it.
Wow.
And then I would just like, put it on the side and start playing something else and go back to it once in a while. And then it will take me like 2 years to finally actually be able to play 4-bar song. But then something I realized that's very cool is that after I could play that, I'm learning other solos and I realize, hey, this pattern is from this little Hell Book song. And it's much slower, or it's like, oh, the stretch is smaller, or the pattern is easier. So like when I see that in the solo, it's like, oh,
easier.
It's like it clicks instantly. Yeah, piece of cake. Like I could like play this part of the solo instantly.
Yeah.
Like I don't even need to practice anymore. Just like, oh, this is from this part. So I started. To me, that's kind of like in my mind. I look at that like the little short song is like a little block. It's like, oh, I had this block already made. I'm just going to take it and put it into this new song I'm learning. So like instantly that like, let's say a solo requires this thing that I've already played from the Hell Book. It's like 2 measures. Like, oh, I already learned that from this book. So this 2 measures is already done for me, So like that's a little block in that song, right? So I kind of basically just took that format. The only one thing about Shinichi's Hell Book is that it's way too hard because he is very shred. So like he come out the gate like putting you through like 200 BPM little lick and
hence
stuff.
the name.
Exactly. So like it's very daunting for most people. So I wanted to come up with something that's a bit more accessible for people who are not like necessarily into shred or
Very
like
good,
who are not close to like playing at that kind of speed. So yeah,
Right.
I wanted to make it more accessible. So that's how I came up with that whole structure.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Shout out to the guy. He's got to have abs on his fingers by now.
Oh, he definitely does.
That's the way to. Once you finish those 50 songs, way to heaven.
And at the end of the book, there is always a song. Like he writes about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes song, and then it uses every technique he'll put it. And the song is good. This guy can write, can compose, and I used to just be so amazed. Like, wow, how can you take a technique, write so many little short songs, and then at the end put it all together and write a really banger song that has all the technique in one. And then he will like in the book, like the book obviously has tab, right? And he will like put, oh, if you struggle in this part of the song, go back to this song. And then you can just go back to that thing and start drilling that one. And it's just, I was like, wow, this is a very nice designed way to teach. And I'm playing great music that I enjoy. And, just naturally I'm playing and just improving. And it's the best thing.
So good. Yeah. Sounds like very useful kind of thing. And he had everything thought out. Now, that brings me to 2 questions. Like, do you think people still turn to paper materials? Because nowadays, oversaturation of videos, you can just click. You have all these interactive apps. You just kind of, it listens to what you play, then it tells you if it's right or wrong.
Right.
Like, obviously, it helped you. And I have also downloaded this recently, some funky book, and there's exactly what you said: parts, practicing solo picking, some strumming, and at the end, every section you have like a song, like putting it together, and it really works. Because then you come across something else, and you're like, oh, I did this just in different, let's say, key or something.
Song. Yeah.
So yeah, do you think people still turn to paper material for studying? I mean, there's got to be some, right?
There's definitely 2 schools, and I spend too much time on Reddit, and I've seen people, plenty of people are still, buying books. Some people even print it out. I don't know the age range because it's, it's online.
Right.
I do think there's probably more nowadays. People are learning like on YouTube and just watching videos, because at the end, having the video, seeing what people are actually doing,
you can see the fingers where they go.
Will always trump paper format for sure. So I would say probably more people are on YouTube, but like knowledge-based kind of stuff, I mean, having a book, it's always help, and especially having tab printed out in front of you, you can look at it. It's always better than, when I'm learning a song, I still prefer to have it at least on, if it's not a physical book, it's PDF, and then I put it on the desktop, kind of read it just like a book,
Yeah, there's still, sermons and videos online, but the Bible is still in the...
Still in the drawer.
In the drawer, And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening and come back next week. We're going to continue our talks and you'll find out what common problems guitar players face, Drew's philosophy on teaching, and some of his early influences that shaped his guitar playing. And before we leave, here is one of Drew's songs called Words.
My mind